I am Sam Goodbody. Today's episode is for beginners and intermediate learners. Why you must read. Why do I need to read in English? My students often ask me this. They think, I go to classes, I do my homework, I watch films in English. Why should I read books? Actually, reading is the best way to improve your English. I will tell you why. First, reading is extremely important right now. In 2006, only 1 out of every 100 people attended university. Now, 7 out of 100 people attend university. All jobs require more reading and writing than 100 years ago. This holds true for everyone. It makes no difference whether you work in an office or as a mechanic. Second, reading is the most effective way to improve your speaking, writing, vocabulary, and grammar. It will not improve your listening skills, but it will enhance your vocabulary. And having a better vocabulary allows you to listen more easily, which improves your listening skills. In school, you probably read lots of English. You probably read boring textbooks and stories with exercises at the end. But I'm not talking about that. You are not reading because you think, I should read this book. You are reading because you want to. In 1965, they did an experiment in schools in America. These schools were for boys who had done crimes. For example, some of them stole things. They gave some of the boys free books. They were fun books, like James Bond. They said, you can do what you want. You don't have to read the books. But the boys did read the books. They read a lot of books. Some boys read a book every 2 days. After 2 years, they gave the students a test. The students who got the books got better at reading and writing, and they liked school more. The students who did not get the books did not get better at reading and writing. Actually, some of them got worse. This isn't just true for native speakers. They also did an experiment on students learning English in the Fiji Islands. They used 3 ways to teach. The first way was normal English teaching. They did grammar classes, exercises and so on. The second way was reading in silence. The students read books in class. The third way was reading together. The teacher read books to the students. After a year, the 2 methods of reading were the best. They fared much better than the students who took regular English classes. They repeated the experiment in Singapore. The students who read in silence did exceptionally well. They performed the best on grammar tests. Other students took grammar classes, but they performed worse on grammar tests. In regular classes, we attempt to remember grammar and vocabulary. We naturally learn things while reading. Perhaps you're thinking, when I read in English, it's too difficult. I have to use the dictionary all of the time. It is boring. I can't do it. I understand. So I wrote this book. I think this book will make you like reading, because the stories are easy and fun. The early stories are short and easy, and the later stories are longer and harder. When you finish the book, you will think, wow, I did it. I make a podcast called English Stories Podcast. 9 of the stories in this book I wrote for English 30 Days. 1 of the stories I wrote for this book. But when I made this book, I made the stories better. Now you can read the stories at beginner, pre-intermediate, intermediate or advanced levels. The stories are all fairy tales. Some are very popular fairy tales, but some are not so popular. One of them I wrote myself. Maybe you're thinking, fairy tales. Fairy tales are for children. I need useful vocabulary. I need to learn about business and science. That can't be fun. Actually, the vocabulary in these stories will be useful. McQuillan did an experiment where he looked at vocabulary in 22 novels. 0.85% of the words were on academic word lists. These are lists of words that you need to know to study at university.